Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is, what is it, Monday, the 19th day? Holy cow, of August. We're cruising through National Aviation Day, National Soft Ice Cream Day. So if you're eating soft ice cream in an airplane, like you're really celebrating. International Bow Day, International Orangutan Day, Talk Like Jar Jar Binks Day, Patient Advocacy Day, Potato Day, Sandcastle and Sculpture Day, World Photo Day, and many other things happening on this day as well. In addition to all that, it's a Movie Star Monday, and it's a little different today than normally, because usually when I do a Movie Star Monday, we're talking to somebody who's like known for being in movies. Today, I'm actually visiting with a guy who there's a movie about him. So it's actually pretty fascinating. So there's a new documentary that's coming out, and I think it actually just came out. Well, anyway, we're going to get all the details from Ed Jackson coming up in just a bit.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Turns out the supposedly helpful TikTokers who share their weight loss tips, they might be causing more harm than good. Researchers from Charles Sturt University in Australia say that spending time on social media platforms, especially watching pro-anorexia content, could damage a young woman's self-esteem and increase the risk of developing an eating disorder herself. Researchers wrote that even just 8 minutes of exposure to this type of content have negative consequences for body image states and internalization of appearance ideals. Their study of 273 university-aged young ladies found that psychological harm can occur even when this type of content is not sought out, and TikTok use of short duration, where they put little bits out there, can actually add up. Women who use TikTok more than 2 hours a day reported even more disordered eating behaviors because of well, not necessarily because of, but
right.
Coincidentally,
right, sure.
So, or whatever they're trying to say. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that American College, Massachusetts Institute of Technology deems certain students who take courses in pistol marksmanship, archery, sailing, and fencing as certified pirates? Yeah. So if you take the right courses at MIT, you can be listed as a pirate.
I see.
Are you going to sign up, Heidi?
Probably not. No, I have no interest at all.
We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com. Netflix has released a trailer for Squid Game Season 2. The streamer shared a video that opens with classical music before quickly cutting to a more ominous soundtrack. And it's kind of got some stuff from Season 1, but it looks like Season 2 is going to get even weirder. That is another one of those things that I've not watched. I've talked to people who've watched it. They're like, oh, it's really kind of interesting. December 26th is when it will be premiering, Season 2. Again, Squid Games. And Catfish host Nev Schulman is in recovery after sustaining what he described as medical trauma and severe injury in a bike accident.
Oh.
So that happened a little over a week ago. And he says, I'm lucky to be here alive, standing, and hugging my family, projected to make a full recovery. And if you ever watch that program, you would think that this guy would have gotten in, somebody beat the snot out of him on that show, Catfish. Anyway, sounds like he's all better, or he's getting better now because of this bike accident. So good luck to you. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. This is an interesting story. I need your undivided attention, Heidi. What are
All
you
right.
playing a game over there? What are you doing over there?
not.
She's doing something. A man who describes himself as a public transportation enthusiast has now completed his bucket list journey. He traveled from Mexico to Canada via bus and trains with one big catch. He refused to use any Greyhound buses or Amtrak trains to make the trip. So he's a Canadian by the name of William Hui, H-U-I. He set out on his trip June 24th, starting in his hometown of Vancouver, British Columbia. Over the course of 9 days, the 40-year-old relied on public buses and trains to make the trip along the Pacific coast to Tijuana, Mexico. His other rule, by the way, was to keep walking between bus stops to a minimum, so he didn't want to have to walk too far. He says the longest walk was about 15 minutes, including border crossings. How much do you suppose he spent on bus tickets for this
Oh my
trip?
gosh, I couldn't even begin to
Well,
guess.
throw out a number. That's what I'm asking you to do.
From where to where?
He went from it says from Mexico to Canada, but when I read the details, that's really from Canada to Mexico. So how much in bus tickets do you
Gosh,
suppose
I've
that
never
would be?
even taken a. I don't know.
Just
If
throw out a
somebody
number.
Random. Okay, I don't know. $1,500.
Wow, are you crazy? Just kidding. No, it's $200 bucks. So it's not as bad as you thought, is it?
No,
He spent
no.
just $200 on bus tickets, and he said the trip was worth every penny. He spent a lot of time enjoying the scenery during his adventure, but he admits he's very thankful for free Wi-Fi. So I wonder if it would have been a lot less if he hadn't avoided the two companies that he avoided. And I don't know why he avoided Greyhound and Amtrak, but for whatever reason, he just avoided those two. It doesn't say in the story why, but interesting stuff. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday. Usually we talk to a movie star at this time, but I'm excited to talk to somebody way cooler than a movie star today. Ed Jackson. He is a former rugby player, and there's a movie out now called The Mountain Within Me, and it's a story about his amazing life.
It is crazy. There's a film about my life. You know, it's not something you ever imagine that happens when you're younger, but it's been a bit of a turbulent one. Let's put it that way. So to have this film finally here after many years in the making is pretty amazing.
Again, the movie is out right now. It's called The Mountain Within Me. But Ed, let's explain to people who you are, because there's probably some folks that maybe don't know that you're a professional rugby player. They don't know what happened. So let's talk about what led up to this movie being made.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned, I was a professional rugby player, so for 10 years over in the UK. And in 2017, when I was 28 years old, I was recovering from a shoulder operation from playing rugby. Went round to a family friend's house, and they had a swimming pool with a waterfall in one end. And I dived in where the waterfall hit the water. You couldn't see the bottom of the pool, thinking it was deep. And what I thought was 8 feet turned out to be about 3 feet. And I ended up breaking my neck really badly, rendered me completely paralysed from the shoulders down straight away. Fortunately, my dad and a friend were in the pool, pulled me to the surface, but after being resuscitated a few times in a 7-hour operation, I woke up in intensive care, completely paralysed from the shoulders down. So to say it was a bit of a 180 from being a professional athlete just a few hours before, now being a complete quadriplegic at that point, was a bit of a drastic change. And the film effectively documents my journey from that moment to where I am now. Which is in quite a different place, climbing mountains, still with a disability, and all the amazing things that happened in between. But it's kind of a raw and honest, uncut account of someone going through a life-changing trauma, effectively.
And again, this is not something that you scheduled in your life. You didn't anticipate this. You didn't hope for this, but it happened. And since it happened, I'll bet you've probably heard people tell you over and over and over, you can't do this. You'll no longer be able to do that. This is not something that's even possible anymore. You hear that kind of stuff a lot, don't you?
Yeah. It was a constant barrage of you can't, you shouldn't, you won't be able to. And I think like part of it is them trying to protect you, not give you false hope. But at the same time, you know, you've got to try and take it into your own hands to a certain perspective, like to a certain effect. Like I knew I had a decision to make, which was, you know, I've been given this bum hand, if you like, and I could either fold and give up, or I could just play them and see what happened. And, you know, I'd be lying if I said I knew I'd be able to get back on my feet one day, or even get to the point of climbing mountains. But I knew I wasn't going to die. I wasn't going to, you know, not die trying. I had to do everything I could to try and get better, so that I wasn't going to be in a position wondering what could have been different if I tried harder.
And I absolutely love your spirit. You went from, you know, quadriplegic to literally climbing mountains. Your life is so amazing. They literally made a movie about it.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, there's a lot of other people involved in this journey. Obviously, it took a decision by me and a lot of effort, but also some amazing support from medical professionals, friends, family, the rugby community to get to where I am today. And I am still a quadriplegic, and I'm an incomplete quadriplegic. So a walking quad, if you're sort of in the industry, if you like, of people with spinal cord injuries. And I do hobble up mountains. But in that, I want to help inspire other people that they too can break down the limitations that are either put on them by society or they put on themselves, and do incredible things. So it's a tool for me. The mountains are a sort of a place, a theatre for me to sort of test myself and keep motivating myself to keep improving. But also, hopefully, it will help send a message to others that, you know, they can do more than they think.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today, Ed Jackson, former professional rugby player, but now he's an author, he's a motivational speaker, and he has a movie that just came out about his life because he's an amazing guy, The Mountain Within Me. And Ed, how weird is it? There's a movie about you. Has that sunk in yet? That's got to be kind of odd.
It's very weird. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. It's very weird, especially when it's got, you know, it's made by Universal, so you've got the spinning globe, and it's like, and then you're expecting like some sort of Hollywood blockbuster, and your face pops up. It's very bizarre, but well, yeah, it's very humble.
Ed, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. I know this movie is going to go on to inspire many, many people, so thanks for your time, and thanks for being an inspiration.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Again, Ed Jackson. The movie is called The Mountain Within Me. I've got a link to all of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Gerber once tried to market baby food for adults. Sign me up for that. I'm a fan. I think baby food is amazing. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you buy a lottery ticket on a Monday, you are 100 times more likely to die before the drawing is held on Wednesday than to win the jackpot.
Yikes.
I think we talked about something like that the other day. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A study found that looking at a photo of a loved one reduces your pain by 44%.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I like that. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Elephants have only 4 teeth, which they can lose and replace up to 6 times. So that's kind of weird. I guess I never looked inside of an elephant's mouth before.
I've never even thought about an elephant's teeth before.
Yeah, me neither. So I wonder, they can lose and replace up to 6 times?
Huh.
So like people have baby teeth and then like their adult teeth, so apparently babies have a lot more.
Okay. Okay.
Several fun facts now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. This, Heidi, was originally used as a torture device. Now, many of us own one. We don't. We have, though, in the past. What is it?
I have no
A torture
idea.
device. A treadmill. Yeah. It was originally designed as
they just made people just walk and
Yep,
walk.
they made them
walk.
walk and walk
They
and
chained
walk and
them to
walk.
it?
Yeah, and they had to keep walking.
Oh, that's
And, yeah,
fascinating.
so if you ever feel like torture when you're in the gym, that's why. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Of course it was going to happen. Ozempic for pets. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe not quite that, but there soon may be a weight loss drug available for fat felines and hefty hounds that promises to help them shed the pounds, similar to the way Ozempic does for human people. The startup company, Okava Pharmaceuticals, found in a study that a weight loss drug helped cats shed 5% of their body weight in about 4 months. No word on how the dogs fared. But experts say the new pet-friendly weight loss drug would also help as a method of preventing diabetes in canines.
Okay.
The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention found in 2022 that 61% of cats and 59% of dogs are overweight. Can we go back to who that was again? The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention.
I didn't know it was such a problem.
There's an association for everything, isn't there? All right. Weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. Animal myth busting. I've got a list here of these. Part 1. So the first one, toads give you warts. Okay, let's get that one out of the way first. They can't. They don't. They do not give you warts. That is
Right.
just a, what do they call it? A wives' tale? Whatever?
Right.
That's not true. How about this one? Lemmings engage in mass suicide. They don't really do that.
I've never heard that one before.
So, well, because they like all jump off the cliff together. One just follows the next. They follow the next, but they don't really do that.
Okay.
It might have happened once, and then they're like, oh, these things are crazy. Sloths are lazy. Well, they're very slow because of their metabolic rate, which means they conserve energy, but that does not mean they're not motivated. So
doesn't mean they're not
cut 'em
motivated.
some slack, man. How about this one? Elephants are afraid of mice. No, research shows that elephants don't even find mice threatening at all. But like humans, they don't like it when they scurry up their leg or something. So that's probably where that came from. This is part 1 of the list. I've got the whole list in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Lily Tomlin, who says, "If love is the answer, could you please rephrase the question?" I like that. That's kind of sad, though, yeah,
That is
when you think
sad.
about it.
It's
Love
very
is the
sad.
answer. And Lily Tomlin, there are several movies that she's in that I just thought she was amazing. And I see her in stuff. There are several things that I've seen her in that I haven't watched where I'm like, oh, I'd like to check that out. So, but yeah, she's good. She's funny. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And what a story right here. I think this is really cool. There's a lot of great stories here, but I'm going to start with this one. From teacher to hero, the heartwarming story of a life-saving friendship. So in a story that empowers love and friendship and community, a local teacher has become much more much more than an educator, rather. She's become a hero. Jamie Lynn Dorr, D-O-R-R, a devoted mother navigating the challenges of raising a son and the spectrum, shares a powerful update on her Facebook page that touched the hearts of many. Her son's teacher is a perfect match for a liver transplant that her son desperately needed. So she wasn't a match. They were trying to find a match. The kid's teacher was a match. So 4 years ago, Jamie found herself in this new town with new friends and this son, Bowen, who requires her full attention. Life was filled with uncertainty and isolation. But then Holly Allgood entered their lives. She was a teacher. That's how she entered the lives. Described as pure sunshine and joy, Holly has been much more than just a teacher. She's become a trusted friend and a steady source of comfort for Jamie. She says, if you know Holly, you know she is just salt of the earth. From the moment we met, she took this scared, unsure, uncertain mama and continued to remind me that God was writing this story and that even on the hard days, we're not alone. So the thing that I think is really cool, again, this is coming up on the 27th. That's when it's the transplant is scheduled, August 27th. She found out that she was a match for this young boy who has been waiting for a transplant, and she's the one that's going to line up and donate. How cool is that?
Wow.
I mean, that is just such an amazing thing. So again, hero. And they've said right in the story, and that is exactly what she is, an absolute hero. So if you would like to read the story, I do have a link to it. There's a lot more than I was able to read. So again, we're constrained with time, but if you've got the time, you can check it out in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.